name's Diane Trabbic. I'm a watercolor painter. I do a lot of work on canvases because it's a lot cheaper on canvases than it is watercolor. But today we're going to do a watercolor and we hope for the best. This is my palette. My husband carved away the little dams, I guess you'd call them dams.
Notches.
And so I can get my larger brush in. And I'm just going to wet my paper all over. Not that you need to see this, but and then I take my 2-inch brush, and I don't know what color I'm going to take. I'm going to take some manganese blue, and I slide my brush in like this. That's why he carved away the little dams. And I like ultramarine blue, but I'm just about out of it. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going to use some burnt sienna. I'm just going to come in and just wildly make some gestures on this watercolor paper. This is Aquarius 2 watercolor paper. It's one of my favorites, and a lot of times I mix these two colors and pour them. There's nothing worse than looking at a blank white piece of paper. And if you have some color on it, great. This is a super soft paper, very smooth. And I think I'm going to do some trees on here, but who knows, it might be leaves, I don't know. More water, let it flow, kind of mix. Sometimes you can get a nice warm cool gradation when you use these two colors, and a lot of times it's the manganese blue is the sedimentary paint, and the burnt sienna is a very clear paint. So I'm going to try another color. This is called Cobalt Violet. Just for some color. It seems to be mixing with my burnt sienna. It's okay, I don't care. Nothing perfect here. But I do want the color to go, if you put it one place, you have to put it a couple other places, so. Try to cover my corners. Put a few drips in it. Oh wow. Now I'm going to take, as in the other video, I'm going to take 3 pencils. I'm going to line them up, and I'm just going to scribble on this paper. Like I said, it's a soft paper, so it's going to leave some indentations. A lot of times you can just, it doesn't matter what you do, just go to the edges. Always have your paint go to the edges. Soften any lines you have. And now I'm going to let this painting dry. While the other paper's drying, I'm going to start another one. This is on Strathmore Rough 140 weight paper. And I'm going to try some yellow. This is cadmium yellow. Again, big long sweeping swoops. And maybe this will be leaves or trees, I don't know yet. But again, I don't want to constantly look at a white paper and draw something on it, and I just don't have the patience for that. There's some very good artists that do that. I'm just a painter. I'm not what you call I'm an experimental painter, I guess. I don't know. This cadmium orange. I think it got a little dirty, but that's all right. Again, the color goes all the way to the edges. And I'm going to try a little cadmium red. I guess I'm using all CAD colors. Sort of exciting. The other one was such a cool painting. This is a very warm painting. As with the other painting, I've lined up 3 pencils, and I'm just going to scribble around, big long sweeping moves. I use my whole body when I paint. I have some leaves here, and I'm going to try and make a leaf painting. So I'm just going to take this shape. I mixed up some cobalt blue and some burnt sienna. I'm just going to make a gray and come in and make a leaf shape like that, a big leaf shape. And like with drawing, kind of blur the lines a little bit. I want to leave a little stem. You can kind of see a starting of a leaf here. I'm not going to finish the whole leaf. It's like lost and found leaf. Just get the idea of some shapes. Very subtle. And I have some other shapes here. This is dragon wing begonia. No, an angel wing begonia. I'm just going to try and come in here with a few of the shapes like that. Just drawing with my 2-inch brush. You can see that's leaving a definite shape there. It's called negative painting. Leaving the underneath color of the first washes show through. And I have to take this, these videos, my husband's doing it, I have to take them in short segments because I'm doing it with the iPhone, and it won't allow me to download a lot of what do we call it? Data? Mm-hmm. I'm not too familiar with that kind of stuff. But as you can see, take some blue and kind of splatter it a little bit. But already you can see that there's some shapes of leaves coming.
Yeah.
I'm going to start making some secondary shapes in here. As you can see, I added a few more negative leaf shapes. I'm going to start with the dark. Oh, that didn't work out. So I want to come in like this. Make a little leaf shape here. Down. Define that leaf shape a little bit better. Soften that edge over there. I'm going to come on this side with a gray. And I think I went too dark. I'm going to just soften that a little bit. As it dries, it'll get lighter also. Define that a little bit better. Maybe come up here with another leaf shape. another stem. And I've made some little leaf shapes here that kind of klutzy. Soften that edge around there. Oh, that looks terrible. Here comes another leaf in here, like that. Maybe another one right here. As you can see from the last time, I put a few more leaves in, and I'm going to continue to do so if my husband will take the camera. I'm painting out on our carport in Ruskin, Florida. And I'm going to start by coming in here, making another stem, making a dark shape right there. Oh, the wind's blowing, so I have a clamp on here. I'll have to doctor that up in a little bit. Kind of soften the edge a little bit. Add a little blue as it come in. Make it a little darker, have kind of a blending wet on wet kind of thing. I'm using ultramarine blue and burnt sienna. I'm going to come in here, make another stem and another leaf right there. I'm going to come on this side of it and darken it. Just kind of drawing with my brush here. Like a half leaf right there. Add some water. Kind of blend it out so it's not such a hard line. And then too, if I want to come in, take some of that paint and come in, make some leaf shapes. And blot it a little because I don't want it to be so outstanding, so sharp. There, we can add some blue down here. Let it blend. Right there. You can see how it's just kind of filling the whole page with some leaf shapes. And I'm just making pretend leaves. I'm not going by anything that's again, you could come in, blot it a little bit so it pushes it back so I can go darker behind it. So each layer adds a little more depth to the painting. I don't know why, but I'm just not crazy about dry brush. It's just a personal thing. I know other people can do a good job at it, but I don't seem to have the knack of it. And then I go darker. I'm going to use some rose madder and Viridian. It makes a nice gray too. If you can show this over here, Tom. My photographer, my husband Tom, who's a great sculptor in his own right. All right, I'm using a 1.5 inch brush. I just can tip it this way and tip it that way. and add some darks here and there. It makes everything perk up. And then later on in the painting, I'll add some, I use Caran d'Ache to spark my darks up. Handy dandy paper towels. I put some more negative space painting in this and formed more leaves. I put it inside a mat, but this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I'm going to go out in the front and turn the hose on it and wash it off. I've done this a lot with my paintings. I used to do it in the bathtub, and I ruined our fiberglass bathtub. But things will become subtler now, and just sometimes I have to do it. Sometimes I can bring them back, and sometimes I can't. Now I have to let it dry. I think it looks better already. Well, I think it softened it up a lot, and I didn't lose a lot of the original color. And now I have to let it dry. I think this helped. I hope so. After washing it off, I started to reinforce the darks and make larger dark areas. I'm going to continue to do so. I have some Chinese white here, and those lines I put in previously when the painting was just brand new after I'd put color on it, I'm filling in those lines, and I'm using Chinese white, and I'm trying to give the impression of wind blowing through autumn leaves. Whether it turns out that way or not, I don't know, but this is what I'm doing. And it just kind of gives it a nice flowing feeling. Trouble is with Chinese white, you have to go over it again and again to get it soaks into the paper. But that's what painting's all about. I don't know if it shows up or not. And always continue to the outside edge. Kind of continue it onto the outside edge. And then I'm going to make the darks a little darker and keep going back farther. I'm going to use Caran d'Ache. These are watercolor crayons. I really like them. I'm scared to use them. My other ones are all broken up, but these are starting to break too. But I'm going to come in here with the darks, and I'm going to just add a little spark to the darks, just to spark them up a little bit. Adds a little interest. Sometimes darks can get a little dull. That's kind of just, it's a minute thing, but I think it does help. That's a little wet over there. I don't know if you can see that or not. They have all kinds of neat little things out. And I'm going to take these clamps off, and I'm going to put this in a mat. So that's what it looks like. It's not too bad. I think I'm going to call it quits on this painting. I thought I was finished with this painting, and I took it into the house and stood it up against a wall with the mat, and I found that I had a large stomach shape at the top. So I brought it back out onto the carport, and I took some ultramarine blue, and I kind of pushed back some of these shapes. I don't know if you can see that. And I hope I like it a little better. I just took some light gray blue, pushed some of the areas back a little bit. I put it back in the mat, and I think it looks a little better. And so now I'm going to call this painting finished. And again, I'm thanking you for your time.